As you know, I am involved in a lot of weddings. And one of the most wonderful things that has happened over the last 10 years is I no longer get stuck at the head table. Because when I'm at the head table at a wedding, it means I'm way down at the end of the table, sitting next to an usher. And everybody knows that an usher is usually like the bride's brother that she had to have do something. You know, nobody really likes them, but they have to have them do something. So I'm sitting down next to this usher. There's nobody across from me, and there's nobody to talk to, and there I sit. Well, now, they don't do that anymore. There are very few at the head table, and I usually sit with a family table, or sometimes there's no seating at all, and you can just sit wherever you want. And while I don't like being at the head table at a wedding, I am an interesting combination. As you know, I love public speaking. In fact, I'll be going on here for another 20 minutes. But I don't like being fussed over because I'm the priest. I don't like being treated differently. I don't like being up on a pedestal because it's very lonely up there. People kind of look at you and say, well, we can't really get close to you because you're a little different. You're way up there on the ladder. And sometimes people who are not nice to anybody are nice to me. And I find that very curious. And, but I love this, but I don't like people fussing and making me, I mean, I'm the kid down the block. I grew up in Kimberly, for Pete's sake. We're all the same. So I don't need a special seat at the table. But then the gospel takes a little turn, and Jesus says, even though you maybe shouldn't pick out the best seat, everyone needs to be esteemed, and everyone needs to be affirmed, and everyone needs to feel that she or he is important. And God can't do that to us from some realm distant. We need to do that to one another, because if they can believe it from us, they can believe it from God. So it is important for us to seek out that which is good and wonderful in others and compliment that and affirm that and talk about that and bring that into other people's awareness. Now, sometimes it takes a while to find something good in somebody to affirm, but we all have it. I'll bet even the hardest-hearted person we can think of, the most cruel, tough, agony-producing enemy that you and I can imagine, I'll bet that person is a doting grandparent to somebody. I've often thought when heads of state get together, even if they're enemies, instead of having some big state dinner, they should have a picnic in the backyard. And everybody who is invited should bring, if they're young, their kids, if they're older, their grandkids, and let them play together at the picnic. And all those kids from all over the world would become friends. And it might dawn on those grandparents that, well, if our grandkids can be friends and treat one another with respect, maybe we can too. And we've all experienced that on a little different level. There has been somebody at work or somebody in our family or someone in the neighborhood who's always very rigid and very stone-faced, and it's all about business. And the slightest compliment that you and I give to that person, and it's like their whole face changes. They smile, they relax, they're just kind of, oh, well, thank you so very much. So instead of searching our own hearts in order to find things that others should appreciate about us, maybe we need to reverse that and spend the time finding things that we can appreciate about them, and then affirm them and esteem them and compliment them. Let our creative juices work so that we can figure out how to melt even the hardest of hearts. And we, in the process, will find more inner peace than we would have ever found if someone said something good about us. It's just how it works. And we will find that there will be much less conflict in our lives, and how wonderful that would be. I don't think, even though I emailed them all, the world leaders are going to have a picnic the next time they get together and bring their grandkids. But I can guarantee you that if we flip the switch, our picnics will be much more fun.